Hello, ladies and gentlemen of the internet and YouTube. Welcome back to Jibber Jabber. I am your host, Toneshift, aka Skajarmas, as always. With me today, a somewhat smaller assortment of guests, but I mean, hey, at least there's enough. Joining me, the author of the Change series, Tom117Z.
Hi.
And Hades Shadow 92, who is also here.
Indeed.
So, how are you two doing?
Good. I hate crab buttons.
About to say, have you recovered from your little rage session there, Tom?
Don't you guys think we should give some context?
Byro hates crab buttons.
Yes. For those who don't know what the fuck we're talking about, Tom here, we actually convinced to go through the Legend of Spyro series. And he just now got to near the end of Eternal
Celestial
Night.
Temple.
Yep. So, and those who have played it know of those annoying little crab buttons that you have to hit, and they are incredibly fast and difficult, even with Dragon Time. So, yeah.
The
It's
first one took me about 15 minutes to finally catch. Because every time I think I had his pattern go down, he'd suddenly turn back and go in the opposite direction where he was fucking supposed to. Dick.
It basically pulled an egg thief from the other games.
Yep.
Funny enough, the other crab buttons on the other elemental areas weren't actually that bad. I did them quite quickly. It was just that one in the damn fire cavern.
Yeah. I haven't played that game in such a long time, so I barely remember any of this. I don't even remember the crabs. I don't. I think I kind of just tuned out their mere existence in favor of just remembering the story.
I honestly forgot about them as well. I had to look them up in a playthrough that I found to remember them. It's like, oh yeah, now I remember them. They were pain.
Oh yeah, those little shits.
Yep.
Oh well, now I'm standing in front of the big well of souls to fight.
Well of Souls. What'd you think of the Chronicler?
I like it. You cannot look into the future, but I wanna. Okay. You must stay here until this passes, but I don't wanna. Okay.
Well, I'd really like to see him try to stop him.
I mean, to be fair, considering what a chronicler is, I imagine he'd easily be capable of just holding Spyro if he wanted to, or if he was allowed to. But he's not allowed to directly interfere, per se, except through, visions and voices and shit. As I can tell,
and visions which involve knocking Spyro out when he's flying above a fucking ocean. When he's in the middle of a battle arena where he's been captured and is trying to hide from a group of pirates in descending order.
Well, I mean, hey, it all worked out in the end, right?
Tone, he doesn't quite know that yet.
First time Spyro was only okay because Sparks pissed off the pirates and got them to chase him for a while. The second time, they just shoved Spyro back in the cell, and the third time, he somehow got saved by a giant freaking tortoise.
What you want to bet that tortoise worked for the Chronicler?
I wouldn't have doubts, considering it actually dropped him off on his island, of all places.
Yeah, so I bet that one was actually directly planned.
That was directly planned.
It's like, okay, I need Spyro to come here. Let's knock him out. Why am I using my Discord voice for the Chronicler?
I was gonna say, he's not that.
Because both him and Discord are meddlers.
Yeah, so currently I'm looking at a big evil mountain going to rescue Cinder, because apparently she went from a big evil antagonist to getting captured every 5 minutes.
Well, considering what you did to her in the first one, you kind of zapped her pretty much everything.
You accidentally did a Luna on her.
You did.
She went from being big and intimidating to tiny and adorable. And filled with guilt.
Quite.
Yep.
She and Luna are so alike. It'd be so much fun seeing those two actually interact.
Do you want a salad? Ew, no, I can go hunt us some meat or something. Why am I giving Cinder a British accent?
No idea.
I don't know.
Ew, no, I don't like salad. I could go get us some meat. I don't think this is going to work. Yeah, me neither. Truce. Bye. Bye.
Now fuck off.
Oh my god, she's eating a deer. Oh my god, she lit it on fire.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, for a very kid-friendly game, I realize Spyro has a very large body count by this point. He's killed a lot of people with fire.
Yep.
And
Mostly
every
eight.
single one has a name as well. Their own
Oh
unique
yeah,
names.
oh yeah, they do. I totally forgot that's a thing that the first two games did.
Yep.
Where literally every enemy had their own name.
Indeed.
Well,
And
except
you
for,
killed
except for generic monsters, they didn't get that.
Yeah, like there's
Yeah.
blood-sucking parasites from the weird evil magic forest.
Or the fogweeds.
Yeah, those two.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Frog
every
weeds
single
got
one has a
eat
name
too.
that means that they have a history, a family, probably some kids, and now they've burned to death. We're good guys.
Well, you have more elements than just fire.
Alright, or you could freeze them to death and shatter them, you could electrocute them to death, or you could just, pound them with sonic waves. Actually, in the second Spyro, it's you make a freaking flail and
It's a flail,
You know.
yes.
beam them with it.
Concussive force.
Concussive force.
That's basically what it is. That's what that attack type always is. It's concussive force.
Oh my goodness. I remember going through that. I used fire way too much.
I tend to stick with fire most of the time, unless I want to
I tended to use earth when I got it.
I don't
I mean,
use that
Earth
because
was-
in the against the elemental dragon, I was constantly attacking with the elemental powers when it was ice, electricity, or fire. I just waited for it to change when it was green because I didn't really want to get close with the freaking flail and then get tail whipped by not Cinder.
Oh, I was talking about the first game, not the second.
Oh. And
I don't actually remember much of the second game's gameplay, only really the story. Because, again, I only managed to actually play it once, and I'm only as familiar with its story as I am because YouTube compilations.
Yep.
Yeah, the first game, I remember the base attacks were very similar with some slightly varying effects, and then secondary thing. One thing that annoys me about the second game is they seem to have switched around the button mappings for like your elemental attack and your basic melee attack. That was weird to get around at first.
I still can't believe you beat them you beat the first one so goddamn fast.
Well, I'm on this. Well, yesterday I didn't play it at all because I was writing all day.
Well, yeah. I know.
So today was my second day of playing, and I'm on the final level.
Well, I mean, like, the first game, you got to the final level in a day.
Yes.
He just freaking blew right through it. I remember the morning we were like, okay, so he's starting the game. Cool. By about mid-afternoon, he's like, oh yeah, I've already beaten the volcano. What?
I thought he was joking when he first said that. Then he recited it for a second.
Nope.
And I was about to ask, wait, did you go and watch a walkthrough? Did you watch a walkthrough? Be honest.
No.
No, he's being honest. Shh, holy
He freaking
rage!
beat the volcano, escaped Cinder on all of that time, and that's just like, oh my god.
Like the first 5 hours, I played it at around 12 a.m. where I am here. I spent about 5 hours until dinner playing it, at which point I got to the very beginning of the volcano. Then when I had dinner, I came back to another hour and a half session during which I beat the volcano and then save and quit at the beginning of Cinder's Castle. And then the next day I came back and, beat Cinder.
And then you beat Cinder.
Welcome to Convexity. Welcome to Cthulhu Land. Tell the Cthulhu jellyfish I said hi.
I only fighting Cinder and Convexity. I only died once, and that was because I tried to dash out of a way of attack and dashed into the void because I'm an idiot.
Shit happens.
Yep. Luckily, I had just gotten down to the next health bar, so I didn't lose anything.
Can I just say that the final attack you do on Cinder is weird?
It takes too long.
Well, one, the charging isn't the weird part. It's the actual thing you hit her with.
Bunch of
They're-
ghost purple.
They're
dragons.
giant Spyro heads.
I'm pretty sure what that was meant to be is Spyro calling on the ghosts of his ancestors or whatever to pull the malice and malevolence out of Cinder and free her from Malefor's control.
When Ignitus was saying unleash the inner dragon, I thought like Spyro's gonna grow fucking massive and just punt her, but nope.
Nope.
Some
We
weird
get
magic
giants. We get what looks like some kind of freaking spirit bomb. Then he shoots
Oh,
it.
speaking of...
What?
Spoiler, speaking of purple dragons, I just learned in the story that Malifaux's a purple dragon.
Yes, Malifaux is a purple dragon. Yes,
The first purple dragon.
the very well, according to history, according to him.
I have no reason to believe anything Malifaux says in the third game.
True. Plus, that
No.
third game was really bullshit.
It was very, very disappointing in so many ways. So brace yourself for that when you get there, Tom. The third game is going to disappoint you.
Not quite.
I'm trying to go in it unbiased, so please shut up.
I only promise to try.
Anyway, so we've been talking about Spyro for 10 minutes.
Well, you said improvise.
Fair enough. That is a good enough point. Do you want to keep talking about Spyro or jump to other topics?
I don't know.
No,
what
I
you
mean,
guys want to talk
So,
about?
unless you want to talk about a little bit more about how salty you are that I'm finishing this game so quickly. But
I think I'd rather avoid screaming in legitimate rage on while recording. I think I'd rather save that for private. For when I'm
I
in
still
private.
don't get why you're so salty. How quickly
It
I'm
took
going
me
through these.
weeks to beat it on my first run through.
It's not my fault I'm good at games.
Oh my goodness.
Why can't we be as good as you?
Oh, Master Tom, please teach us.
I will say I've died far more in the second game so far than I did in the first.
Yeah, I can see that.
I mean, if you could go through you didn't go through the first game completely without dying, right? Besides
No,
that little thing in connecting.
Died, though I was saying I've died far more in the second than I have in the first. Like, I passed through the first couple worlds in the first game without dying, and then after that I died a few times.
Segueing a little bit to something that I just think is kind of an interesting anecdote. We can jump back to Spyro when I'm done talking about this, if we so wish.
And
In my hand right now, I am actually holding a pocket knife, like a knife that it folds out, like a self-defense knife. And it has an interesting story behind it. It's a really old model. It's a Korshaw, not sure how to pronounce it. 1640 Vapor. And the interesting thing about this is I found this knife on a beach when I was before I was even 10 years old. So like my family and I went to the beach one day, just out there to relax and enjoy the sea breeze and whatnot, and not the pony, like a literal sea breeze. And while we were out there, I spotted something shiny in the sand, and I pulled it up, and it was this knife. And I was adamant, finders keepers, this was an incredible find. I decided I wanted to keep it. And Mom and Dad decided, okay, we'll let you keep it. However, they put it in a Ziploc bag and hid it somewhere until my 18th birthday. They did not let me have this thing until I turned 18. But then I turned 18, and it was finally returned to me on that day. And I am still holding on to it. Like, it's not exactly sharp, probably because I'd never bothered to sharpen it. And it's an old knife. Like, sucker's really outdated, but it's actually kind of got sentimental value for me at this point. And I just think the story of how I found it is just, I don't know, it's just kind of fun. Just a fun little anecdote. Okay, anecdote over. Let's
just
get back
a random knife that you picked out of the.
So, if we want a topic, next thing we could discuss is certain. It's a Question Girls movie that came out yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so before we actually get into that, spoiler warning for the audience. All three of us have watched the newest Equestria Girls special, Forgotten Friendship. If you haven't watched it, you might want to fuck off and go watch it yourself and then come back here after that. It's like 40 minutes long. It's not the longest of them, not by a long shot, and I think it's good and worth a watch, so if you haven't seen it yet, go do that. Unless, of course, you don't give a shit about spoilers, in which case, come at me, bro.
Spoilers, my dears.
So yes, there was your minute-long spoiler warning. Are you good? Are you good? Are you good? Okay. All right.
Sunset and Celestia reunited.
Sunset and Celestia reunite. Yeah, the whole freaking fandom was just waiting for that.
I loved how Celestia looked like a fish more and more over the course of that whole thing.
What, her just sitting up there with that look on her face, just
every time Celestia shows up on screen, I swear she looks like a fucking fish. Especially when she looks unhappy. She looks more like a fish when she's like tilting her head up and looking down slightly, or anytime her eyes are narrowed and her pupils dilated and she's frowning. Anytime she looks upset, I look at that face and it's like, I swear she's a fish.
Yeah, she was putting it down. She wasn't really upset.
Yeah, I know. There was also, no, wait, hold on. Are you saying I wasn't a good teacher?
You know what that reminded me of?
I've been gone a long time.
Tone, you know what that reminded me of?
What?
That one scene from Little Glimpses where either Rainbow or Twilight called her old.
Oh yeah, it was Rainbow. Again, spoil. Okay, we're just in the
we've already had a spoiler warning, so I'm perfectly okay with it. It's okay.
Okay, all right, fair enough. So, for those who don't know, and those who do, but at one point in Little Glimpses, the Twilight, Rainbow, and Celestia are going to Cloudsdale to visit Fluttershy by Rainbow's insistence because they delayed over a year for that trip. And while they're on their way, Celestia points out something that Rainbow thought only she and a select few knew, and so just points it out so casually, like, oh yeah, there's that hideout for griffins and shit. Yeah, I know about that. It's been there for a few hundred years. And then Rainbow commented, I keep forgetting you're so old. I beg your pardon? And Twilight's just over there like, here we go. While Rainbow's desperately trying to save face. And then Celestia just starts laughing, just, I am old. I've come to take it as a compliment. Then why did you... Fun, Rainbow Dash, it's fun.
I just feel like that's something you would write into the script of that movie.
Fun, it's fun, Sunset.
That's just so funny.
I mean,
and then of course, there's Twilight's little fangirl moment when they actually get into this forbidden section.
Pony.
Twilight?
Best pony.
Twilight, breathe.
Don't take this from
Don't
me.
take this away from me, Sunset.
And then there was the thing that made me facepalm using my desk as the hand.
Oh god.
Selfie
Bye,
sensing
bye.
camera. The goddamn
The selfie sensing camera.
Sci-Twi. Why? Why Twi?
Why?
I mean, she's going to invent cold fusion, so I guess I can forgive her. What the fuck?
Well, oh no, she is, and someone else was going to do it, and she was jealous.
Oh, that was my idea, and they stole it.
Well, she'll beat them to it.
She'll beat them to
She's been challenged now. Her intellect has been challenged. She must prove herself. So just wait. So just like her senior project is going to be the invention of cold fusion. I mean, hell, she's already invented an artificially intelligent robot dog to hang out with Spike when she's not home.
Indeed.
And also, it seemed like the camera itself had some intelligence for how it interacted
Considering
with
how it
Spike.
kind of hid from Sunset in that first scene.
Yeah.
Speaking of Sunset.
So Twilight is just a mad scientist. Let's just get that out of the way right now.
A mad
It's
twine.
also something.
You were just waiting to use
Some of the
that, weren't you?
parallels.
I wasn't actually waiting to use that. It just popped into my head. I was like, okay, I gotta use it.
Oh god.
It's interesting seeing more parallels between the two Twi's because they're pretty obvious
I
when
mean,
you watch.
they're basically almost the same person.
Although
they share similar things, so-
although Sci-Twi probably has a few more social insecurities than Pony Twilight does.
Also seems a touch more spiteful.
Oh yeah. And to be fair, Sci-Twi probably has good reason to be after turning into evil herself. And then the whole debacle, the friendship games and Legend of Everfruit. She has good reason to still have some social insecurities over all that. Even if, she's forgiven that whole incident and is better now, she probably still has some insecurities,
That's why
There's
she
more-
fits so well with Sunset.
I mean, hell, she's a
It's
future.
also saying the two characters as time goes along. You could probably imagine the differences get more and more because Princess Twilight's an immortal sort of goddess Alacorn, while Sidewire is a high school girl who might or may not invent
Although
cold fusion.
I am a bit disappointed with Equestria Girls. We had that one scene at the end of the Friendship Games where Pony Twilight came through the portal, right, and the two saw each other, and it's like, well, this is new.
And then Pony Twilight fucked off.
Yeah,
And then we never saw anything of that. I wanted to see more interaction between the two, or better yet, we actually get this like one scenario where the two worlds are actually really starting to fall apart.
So we still haven't seen other Sunny, you know?
There is no other Sunny. She killed her.
I don't think so.
I doubt that, though I imagine she doesn't live in that same town.
Still, it's just an open storyline they have, because we know Equestria Girls is continuing even alongside G5.
Well, technically there wasn't another Starlight as far as we know, and there we had that scenario.
Well, we didn't think there was another Twilight first either, then, oh, she's here now.
Look, we have another
Twilight.
Twilight.
Yeah, she just went to another school. Maybe the other Sunset and other Starlight are just in different parts of the world. Like, maybe the other Sunset is, like, lives in some secluded shack somewhere, or goes to a completely different school in a completely different city on the other side of the country or something.
Sure.
And maybe Starlight is often, I don't know, a communist country or something. I don't know.
I don't know. I was just saying, I would really like to see the pony versions and the human versions actually interacting with each other. Just going like, wow.
It would be so confusing.
I like to see. I'd like to see the
funny.
princesses
Like, imagine
interact with the principals, because you saw how Luna was talking about this faculty sounds like a powerful place, and how disappointed you would be that on this like it's just a freaking vice
I
principal
remember that.
of a
I
school.
laughed so hard.
This faculty lot of which you speak sounds like a place of great power.
You can imagine. She imagining her alternate self as being equally as powerful, if not more so, than going through and she's a freaking teacher. But oh, that's lame.
And then we've got frickin' Equestria Girls Trixie, who's now friends with Sunset, like the other one is with Starlight.
I just love how Trixie has went from being an occasional background antagonist to an actual supporting cast member. I love that.
She was like that in Rainbow Rocks, the second one, wasn't she?
A little bit. It's just like, I just love how it was just. I was a little disappointed how the main villain was basically really obvious from the start, at least for a lot of people I've talked to.
Yeah, she was kind of obvious, but I do actually still kind of like her, honestly.
I mean, she's not I'm not saying she's a bad character. I just feel like they kind of hit it a little better. And then they tried to they tried to be really cute and make it look like it was Trixie. Of course, because like, yeah, just try to make it so obvious. Yeah, it's Trixie. It's Trixie.
Red herring. Red herring.
I can't remember where I heard this. I think it actually might have been one of the comics with Equestria Girls, but I think it said somewhere also that Principal Celestia hates the idea of princesses.
Really?
I don't remember that.
I think that's from one of the Equestria Girls comics. Though I could be wrong about that. I remember hearing that somewhere.
I don't know.
I just think that would be amusing.
Well, just imagine them seeing each other as like.
Well, I think
technically, I run my own
freaked
school.
out, and then the princess would just be stoic as all hell and all regal, and take in stride.
That's just funny. I just think, well, I do run my own school, so I guess I'm sort of a principal as well.
Yeah.
It would be an interesting, and then the two Lunas. That would be funny.
Once again,
no ponies
Princess Luna
parking
will
in
be
the
so
faculty
disappointed.
lot. What the fuck is the faculty lot? You're standing in it. Oh shit. What is it? A parking lot. What's a parking lot? That. And what is that? It's a parking lot. I don't understand.
What does parking mean?
What do you park there? Cars. What's a car? That. You mean that giant metal box? Yes! Why are we yelling? I don't know. The voice actor's making us.
I got banished to the mood for 1,000 years. What happened to you? She made me sleep. I slept on the streets for a week or something. I don't know.
No, I was in jail for a few years.
I doubt it. She wouldn't be a vice principal. Honestly, I can imagine in the Crystal Girls verse, they probably just had a falling out, didn't speak for a year or something, then reconciled,
Yeah, probably.
or just didn't at all.
Twilight, I fear I have made mini boners all over town. What do you think I should do?
God.
The old meaning of boner? A stupid mistake.
Oh my god.
So that is from a story called Luna's Gay Old Day. Look it up, you will not be disappointed. Back to the topic of the Equestria Girls.
Before we go back to that, I have to ask, Tone, I know you don't take requests, but if you ever get a chance for like a one-shot, just a random one-shot per week, could you do that?
Oh, I mean, I'm honest. I've honestly been considering it, but I gotta get the Wednesday slot open first, because that's actually something I've been thinking of in the back of my head. Because you see, I'm getting close to being caught up in both Human Nature and Their Very Own Sons.
I thought you were already caught up with Human Nature.
Well, I am caught up in Human Nature, but like a new chapter is gonna go up in like any day now. But I'm almost. But I'm almost caught up in both of them, and when I am fully caught up in both of them, I have to fill in the Wednesday slot with something. I'm figuring I'll start filling it in with one-shots that I happen to enjoy, until one of those stories updates again, and then next time it'll be that one. And as that train chugs along, it'll help me sort of branch out and hit more things and get my name out there a bit more.
Cool.
I just think you'd have way too much fun with that story.
Oh, that's a bitch if ever I've seen one. The old meaning of bitch, a dog, usually female.
Well, technically it's still used as that. Just people just use it more as an insult. Now
I can imagine Source seeing this happening, and instead of correcting us, instead of just letting it go on away and wanting to see how it turns out.
We have learned to ejaculate quite well. Old meaning of ejaculate, to speak quickly and suddenly. and Celestia just had a fucking spit take, just...
No, just watch her choke on a piece of cake. Sister, are you quite alright?
Anyways, I didn't actually manage to get in my thoughts on the villain for the Equestria Girls thingy, so can we backtrack to that for a minute?
I apologize. I had to go there.
Yeah, it's alright. It's alright. It's kind of my fault for just saying that. I've made horrible boners all over town. What would you have me do?
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, once more, that story is Luna's Gay Old Day. Old is spelt with an E at the end, so go look it up if you haven't. You'll laugh. Trust me. Anyways.
Indeed. So,
the antagonist of the new Equestria Girls. I hesitate to call her a villain because really I can't see her as a villain.
She's really
not. When will human teenagers learn not to mess with evil magical shit from another world?
Well, to be fair, that item isn't necessarily evil. It's only as evil as the person's intents with it.
Even her name
was created by a dark magic
gave it away.
Yeah. But as it is, I do rather like her just on the grounds that I really actually can sympathize with her motivation for why she's doing what she's doing in there.
Indeed.
I mean, she was just she wasn't out for blood. She wasn't doing anything malicious, at least not at first. She just wanted to erase awkward greetings, things she wished she had never said, any public speaking. But it's kind of weird because the very things that she was getting tired of being forgotten and not even remembered and just left in the wayside and cast in sunset shadow.
Was literally making herself gone.
Yeah. It's kind of an almost tragic irony. She wanted nothing but to be remembered, but the way she was going about trying to erase the part she didn't want to be remembered was making her entire existence just be forgotten.
When she started explaining about that, the fact that everyone literally forgot she even existed makes a little bit more sense.
Yeah.
It was literally erasing memories the entire time.
Yeah. Also, can I just point out how fucking gut-wrenching seeing Sunset trying to, just after she had all of her memories booted, how that was a punch in the gut if ever I saw one. Seeing her so confused, trying to figure out what's going on, calling for help.
5 minutes ago, I was being a bad student. Now I'm in some world full of talking monkeys.
Princess Celestia?
And the
Where
fact,
are you?
yeah, it
But
was,
the thing
it
is,
was so sad.
I'm wondering how far back her memories did get erased, because obviously just before she went to Earth, she was quite evil and spiteful, but she didn't really seem that there. She was actually calling out for Celestia rather than anyone else.
I don't know.
Yeah, it might have been like before they had whatever falling out they had had.
Well, I think
Although-
what it was, that Sunset's ego got too big, and she wanted to become an Alicorn princess, and Celestia said, "No, you have to actually earn that and become it yourself." And then
At least
Celestia got
that's what it
pissed.
was in the comics.
Like in the comics, like she then tried to force Celestia to do it, even though Celestia couldn't, which resulted in her getting arrested and then baiting on guards and jumping through the
Yeah.
portal.
So there was that. But I
Hmm.
mean, like, if I may just say so, though, they really need to just stick with one design with the whole main 7 in there, because they keep every single movie they change their somewhat, what do you call them, super forms or whatever. Like when they
I do
actually
like
use
how
their
in
powers.
when they were firing the alternate elements of harmony, how Twilight started to give the whole magic friendship speech, and Pinkie Pie basically told her to shut up and to shoot her already.
I didn't actually see that part because I was skipping the speech because, like, I've heard this a million times. Can we just
Yeah.
go?
No, actually,
And that's
I
exactly
know
what
it.
Pinkie
Pinkie
was
Pie
thinking.
interrupted it and just told him to shoot her already. Please just stop talking and do it.
Shut up
So
and
she
shoot
runs.
her!
It's like this. Just we get it. Okay, we get it, Twi. Let's shoot her, ladies. Or something like that. It was hilarious. Even
Yeah.
Pinky's getting to the point of it. Of course,
Yeah,
there was also that scene with Trixie and Sunset when they were looking through the recording, and then the whole song with Wallflower started on the recording, and Trixie's like, this is a really long song.
But first she was like, yeah, and then hit fast forward.
This is a really long song.
Long song.
Oh, well, they also referenced that at the beginning, like
I've been trying to get your attention for half the song.
I just love when they met like that. Like it is canon that they're doing this and singing. Like they did that in the show at one point as well, where Rainbow was like, "What are we gonna do? Start singing singing a song about it?" And then Rarity burst into song.
And there was also a time where it's
Rainbow
like,
was
and
very
there was
salty.
and there was also in like episode 2 of the most recent season of All Bottled Up, they were singing their song in the room, and then when they finished, like the guy up in the room's like, well, that was nice, but you know the game doesn't end until you turn the key.
And they
Click.
and they missed out on the record because they had been too busy singing.
So close. You missed the Griffin record by 2 seconds. Probably shouldn't have sung that song. Oh, nuts! Nuts! And then Trixie's running away from fucking...
Also, somehow Trixie mastered teleportation. I'm gonna put that down to question magic. But couldn't sell both of them out at the same time. So probably spent the rest of the afternoon locked in the room.
Well,
And I mean...
Equestrious Trixie could somewhat teleport, so I guess that's
No, Starlight's been doing her own magic. She couldn't teleport before.
I just love how she could only teleport one person at a time at first, and it was just like, okay, let me try this again. Poof. Oh wait, crap. Poof. Oh wait.
I kind of felt like that joke went on a little bit too long.
Because why not?
Yeah, I think they could have probably dedicated the extra 20 seconds of unnecessary poofing to expanding on, you know, like just even 10 seconds can make another scene that much better. And I think that like 10 seconds of that could have been used with Sunset's panic attack over there to make it a bit longer.
It occurs to me that Sunset's never actually met the equestrian version of her friends.
Well, I mean, she spotted them.
Well, yeah.
yeah.
Briefly when they were chasing her through a corridor and she stole it. But
Yeah.
aside from that, she'd never actually properly met them. Aside
now
from
that
them
would
trying
probably
to
be
chase
a
it down.
little awkward
Yeah.
if you tried it now.
And also, like,
I do like how we.
The next step would be
I
a
do.
family. She has family in Camelot.
I do like how we actually have like a physical reference between how large the ponies and the humans are compared to each other. It's in one of the blooper reels because Rainbow Dash was riding Rainbow Dash.
It is My Little Pony. The only ones who would actually be, I think, Cadence is around the same height, while the Celestia and Luna are taller.
Like the way I see it, if you
like
the way it seems to be, if you stand one of the ponies up on their hind legs, that they're standing straight up, trying to mimic a human, like whenever one of the ponies comes through back from the human world, then that's about how tall their human counterpart is when the ponies are standing on their hind legs.
You mean like how Sunset was right after she got out of the portal?
Yeah, I figured like they're the same size. It's just the way they stand.
Yeah. So they said a few, because remember, there's also Sassy Tales and Fleur, who are same size as Cadence.
Yeah, with a few exceptions, generally speaking, with a few exceptions, generally, the average pony model, when on its hind legs, is about the same size as their human counterpart. In general.
Also, speaking of heights, did you notice, particularly in the corridor scene where Sunset and Twilight were walking next to each other, how much taller Twilight is now?
Well, she's an alicorn.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, back in the Question Girls 1, if you look reference, she's barely, like, horns barely an inch taller, and she seems quite a bit more now. Like, they've certainly been increasing their sprite over time.
Perhaps ponies mature faster than humans.
Well,
I imagine so.
There was also an interesting note in season 7 that I noticed. Was it season 7 or 6? I don't know. I think it was season 7. It was the one where Sweetie Belle was being dragged around by Rarity to do all the kid things. Yeah, okay, thanks. Yeah, I actually noticed there that Sweetie Belle looked physically larger than she did in previous seasons in that whole episode.
Yeah. Like
compared to Rarity, she definitely looked physically larger. I don't know if that was just my brain filling that in for me to try and make the gap or like make the plot of the story make more sense, or if they actually upgraded Sweetie Belle's size. I don't know for sure.
I think with the CMC and Twilight both, over time they've been subtly increasing the size of their sprites, to kind of indicate passage of time.
Well, I would hope.
I mean, the reason it was so noticeable to me in that episode is because it seemed like a really big increase, like a sudden jump in her size. Like it almost seemed like she went from...
One little ice cream was nothing.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yawn.
The Question Girls movie was... it was alright.
Yeah, I liked it.
I actually quite liked it.
It's
my favorite parts. The Trixie and Sunset kind of misadventures, and then everything that happened in the Question were my favorite parts.
Yeah. If I had to figure out which of the Equestria Girls things I liked most, my first place would be Legend of Everfree. Friendship Games, and the most recent one would be tied for second place.
The one, you mean Forgotten Friendship and Friendship Games?
Yes, yeah. Forgotten Friendship and Friendship Games would be tied for second place. In third place would be the original, and in last place would be Rainbow Rocks. I genuinely did not like Rainbow Rocks.
Legends of Everfree just had a lot of things that really just didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Like the little geo things that they have. They all have.
It seems like
they're the elements or something.
Well, I think it's Earth's own version of the elements that kind of grown, because the cave in which they found it was in the their version of the Everfree Forest, and the cave itself seemed reminiscent of the Cave of Harmony, and it almost seemed like a tree stump was forming.
Yeah.
So from what I kind of interpreted it is like magic kind of seeped on through, and their own version of the Tree of Harmony is beginning to grow.
Why are there 7?
Because Sunset.
Well, there's not a 7th element.
The different worlds, they aren't going to operate the same way. I mean, Sunset's already made it quite clear on more than one occasion. Magic in the human world does not work the same way as it does in Equestria.
I mean, in the Humane Sevens elements, they need all 7 in the same place, much like the 6 of Equestria to use them. While the elements of Harmony of Equestria, they actually only needed 1 of them to activate the element's power on Earth with the Equestria's version of them.
Yeah.
They remember in the first movie they just had the element of magic and they still managed a rainbow power.
Yeah, you got a point there.
Well, to be fair, it's the spirits of the elements, so...
Yeah, but I think the kind of thing is magic shouldn't exist on Earth, which is why it's works so differently and is haywire most of the time.
Yeah. And that would also explain because, and plus, it is a different world, an entirely different world that it has only had its own magic jump started because equestrian magic keeps jumping ship over to it.
Sunset.
No, it was actually long before Sunset, if you'll recall, because Star Swirl.
It's still sneaking.
Well, sorry. Well, okay. Star
Yeah, and
Wars.
Clover recently.
Yep.
Yeah, we saw in the season 7 finale part one. Actually, the sirens being banished to Earth. Actually, we created that scene.
So yeah,
Technically, they didn't know where they were sending them. They just kind of opened the doors. Okay, get them out of here.
but still, that does basically make the Equestria Girls series canon, and yet you still got naysayers going, "No, it can't be." Guys, come on, just let it fucking go. It's canon. Just get over yourselves and get over it.
Literally, just the last Equestria Girls 5. We literally just had it like a quarter of the film in Equestria. You know?
Yeah, pretty much. Which was refreshing. Also, can I just say, Red Heart is fucking terrifying in Canterlot High School. Like, no, seriously.
Also,
in the one clip where she turned away from bulk biceps, I looked at her and my blood went cold. Like, oh Jesus, that is not a normal face.
Speaking of bulk biceps, that picture of him in the book that Rainbow Dash was very bemused about at the end.
Okay.
I think they broke him.
No. Hold on, I got a thought. When Red Heart was taking bulk biceps temperature in that clip, I just realized why she was doing that. She was trying to figure out if his blood was at a good enough temperature to drink to be tasty. Because she's a fucking vampire. She has to be. Look at that skin. There is even Celestia has more color than that.
Honestly, the color of human skin in Equestria Girls I always saw is less canonical and more of an artistic choice to help you identify who's who.
Yes, I know, but still, there is no way being that fucking pale and having your eyes shrink that much is natural or good. There's something supernatural about that fucking nurse. Someone write a fan fiction about that. Nurse Redheart at CHS is a goddamn vampire.
Well, now, Tom, we already have that whole vinyl as a vampire thing. I don't think we need to start another one.
But yeah, I remember
you could never have too many vampires. Are you kidding me?
Legend of Everfree, during the flashback or the story of Everfree, and they showed, or was it some Timber's ancestors or whatever, they actually had normal human skin tones, since they didn't have a principal Equestrian counterpart.
Yeah, I noticed that. Same with Timber himself, although Gloriosa was for some reason very purple.
Well, like, also speaking of Timber, like, Twilight actively, I wonder if Princess Twilight is aware that her counterpart actively has a boyfriend, and she's still the princess of the friend zone.
Well, technically, they tried to do that whole her and Flash Sentry thing, and then
not really. They just kind of hinted that mostly was just, oh yeah, I know his other self, but I don't know him. I'm gonna go this way now. You all are staring at me too funny. Someone has a crush on the new guy. No, I don't.
And they kept bringing it back, and then you got Legends of Every, that one scene with Sunset,
tough
Flash,
love,
and just basically just saying, "Look, Flash, you just have to give it up. It's not going to happen."
Wow,
she literally lives in another world. She's not coming back,
and is not even human.
Wow,
so that
you don't pull your punches, huh? Not really my style. Punches him in the arm. Sorry.
And then he tries to suggest they get back together, and she walks off.
To be fair, I am actually okay with that because it would actually for one thing, it would give Flash an excuse to keep showing up.
Yeah, and
it would give him a chance to actually.
He actually had one scene.
Did we even see him in
car.
this last one?
Yeah, very briefly at the final confrontation against Wallflower, you actually see him pull up in his car. Yeah, that's the only scene.
Of course, you just have to give him that one cameo.
Yeah, I do generally think it would not only be good to give him a character beyond the handsome guy who plays the guitar, but it would all if those two wound up getting back together, I think it would be a good chance to give him a character, and it would further emphasize just how far Sunset has come. Give her a chance to really show just how much progress she's made from the first movie to now, as far as going from Little Miss Bully Bitch to Amazing Friendship Angel.
You know what? I have to admit, I found it rather hilarious how much hate he got after that first Equestria Girls movie.
You kidding? He's probably still going to get hate in the comment section of this video.
I'm about to say, he still has so much hate, and it's hilarious. It's just so hilarious.
There are people out there
That was
just skydiving out of fucking airplanes just so they can make a point shouting, Flashlight is not a good kid in shipping. Twilight's supposed to be dating my OC.
For the 100 episode Slice of Life, there was a storyboarded scene that wasn't put into the special where Flash turns up and asks someone why no one likes him. That was storyboarded for Slice of Life, but they didn't put it in the end.
Oh. I kind of wish they did now.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember who it was he was talking to.
I can't remember. Have we ever even seen Pony Flash ever since?
In the show,
cameos.
yeah, a few times. For one thing, at the end of season 4, and also somewhere else in season 4. He showed up a few times in season 4.
Season 4, the episode with Discord with the glass of water song. At the beginning, he's talking says escort when he comes out when he actually shoots Twilight a look.
Well, like, oh hey Twilight, and then he goes back inside the train and it fucks off. And then at the end, he's the one giving the announcement like the Duke and Duchess of Meritonia, and then fucking Samuel L. Jackson and female Voldemort come walking in.
It's only role in the show, I might add.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. It's got quiet fast.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think.
We've got about 10 more minutes. We got to figure out something.
Reminds me of the time Rainbow was so bored she contemplated whether or not a concussion by ramming the back of her head into a wall was worth ending her boredom over.
I remember that. That was the beginning of Little Glimpses when she was waiting for cable.
Not just there were a couple of other times. Like the time,
that one just pops into my head right off.
Like more specifically, that quote is from when she was shortly thereafter. She then decided to leave her room and take Twilight up to the clouds.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Oh, speaking of have you read the most recent chapter of Orders Change yet?
I have not. I'll be doing that after we're done here.
Fair enough. What about Soaring?
I have read that. I posted a comment.
Oh yeah, you did, didn't you? Something about breathing heavily when marriage was meant.
Fools, maybe marriage? And then I posted a cat of a cat just breathe. I mean, they already fucked.
Brian
So.
shipped it.
I mean, they already fucked. So.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, man, come on! They couldn't have. The only thing that could have made that any more clear cut is for Littlewing to say, "Oh hey, we fucked last night," and Missy just to say, "Yeah, we did."
They never outright said it, but yes, it was very blatantly did.
And I had to remind you to frickin' take your rating from E to T because of implied sexual activity. Oh god. Forget paranormal activity. Let's go watch sexual activity. That is not a movie I think I want to see.
That's probably just a porn film.
Oh my god.
A ghostly porn film where you're being fucked by ghosts.
Undoubtedly is a thing.
I mean,
rather not.
Probably, sadly. But I mean, hey, as long as it's not hurting anyone else, I don't give a shit what gets your rocks off.
Oh dear. That was a weird departure from just talking about potential marriage between Littlewing and Misty.
Well, there you go.
I say potential, like pretty much everything on that was not so subtle foreshadowing about everything that's going to happen.
Kind of reminds me of that
over
one
the next
scene that
5 chapters.
Tone was talking about, I think it was a week ago, in, I think, Little Choices. So, that's
also
mine? What did
before
you
you
mean by
continue,
that?
chapter 35, you can call me an utter bastard in turn.
I don't know. That's more his title. But...
No, I'm the utter
I'll
bastard.
let you
He's just
discuss.
going to be an utter bastard.
Yes.
Anyways,
I will.
Hades, you had a question?
But well, no, I was just saying we started talking about that, and then that reminded me of that one quote you were talking about with Twilight and Rainbow, something about a pillow fight.
Oh yeah.
And then
Pinkie Pie was mercilessly
That's
tickling. Oh yeah, Pinkie was mercilessly tickling Rainbow Dash, and then Twilight strutted in and knocked Pinkie off of Rainbow with a pillow and loudly declared, "Hey, that's mine."
and then Rainbow turns around and is like, "So what does that mean?"
Blush.
Is that insinuating something in the future, Tone?
Read on, my friend. Read on.
Twilight is real.
Me and Brian have had extensive discussions about this particular ship sailing and
my
what
goodness.
Because-
fees await it.
Yeah, because
Twilight forever.
for a while I wasn't even sure if I actually wanted to pursue it. But the way I write is kind of interesting. Usually I start with a starting point, a concept and a starting point. I have an ending in mind, and one or two important points between those two to help me keep things on track.
And then just improvise through the middle of it.
Yeah, I just make it up as I go, and with little choices, part of that is a very different direction for Twilight and Rainbow Dash's relationship than I had initially thought it was going to be.
To be fair, in Soaring, they hadn't originally planned on Little Wing and Misty getting together. It was going to be... I had planned for Little Wing to get with someone. It was just an anonymous to be decided person, but then after they spent years together, I thought, I ship it.
I ship it.
And
That's
then
so funny.
they fucked.
And
Many people were disappointed she didn't get with Silver Breeze.
I don't know why so many people are disappointed by that.
Neither do I.
Until relatively recently, Silver Breeze was kind of a massive cunt. Pardon my language.
He really was.
I have to say though, that last chapter you posted on Patreon, I just love how it says Silver Breeze is an arse. and then when you posted it in the Discord is like, nah, just a bit of silver poisoning.
Of course, there's been this one guy in the comment section with a freaking Donald Trump profile picture who's from Germany, funnily enough, who's been saying that violence is the best answer to solve all your problems, and it's been really pissing me off.
So we don't get Little Wing punching Silver in the face?
No, we shouldn't get that.
Why not?
Well, whereabouts are you in the story, Hades?
Little Wing is one I really haven't gotten into all that much. I'm sorry. It's just I'm just between getting little glimpses done. Now I got little choices. I got to finish the Fiends trilogy, and
I still got to finish.
Not for you. Not for lack of you adopting Bois.
I just
Ow! Headphones.
You want to know headphone pain? Go listen to the most recent chapter. I bet I hurt you there. Because of that. The sad part is, anyone who watches this video who isn't one of my patrons is not going to understand what the hell we're talking about. Because
and that's why they should go to your Patreon to find this wonderful little story by Tom soaring on little wings.
I'm behind three readings.
That was some freaking cheesy ass advertising, Hades.
And that's why they should do it.
Okay, although can I just point out right now, well, not point out, but actually just mention briefly, there is a story on filmfiction.net that I've been glancing through on occasion, and it is amusing, it is adorable, but there is absolutely no fucking subtlety in it.
What is it?
It is called The Gift of a Feather, and the basic premise is, I'll just give it a very, actually, hold on, let me see if I can pull it up, so that I can, give a description. It's in here somewhere, I know it is. Here it is, okay. The Gift of a Feather is a fan fiction written by AJ. I have no intentions of doing a reading of it, so do not ask, but the description reads, a poor and lonely Pegasus colt named Sonic spent his childhood closely guarding a precious gift from Rainbow Dash, his long-lost but dearly beloved childhood friend. Now, as a young stallion, he may have the opportunity of his dreams, a chance to finally reconnect with the filly, now a mare, that he thought about every single day since their separation. But so much more than he could even imagine awaits the meek stallion, and I'm only a few chapters in. I'm about to start chapter 8 at some point, and it is entertaining, it is adorable, at times it is outright funny.
And they fuck.
They haven't actually done that yet, no. I don't know if they're going to. The story doesn't have the sex tag.
Oh my god!
But
no, drop that in the Discord. I want to look at that.
But it is so like it again. It's adorable. It's funny, but there is no subtlety. And the best way I can describe it is if you want if the story needed a cooking recipe, it would be a block of cheese, a block of ham, and a full cob of corn, as well as a heart colored like Rainbow Dash, like a love heart, like a chocolate heart painted to look like Rainbow Dash with edible paints. You stick that in there, you blend it up, and somehow you get this story. It's just pure cheese and ham and corn and Rainbow Dash adorableness, and it is so cheesy. The main character is so goddamn hopeless, and I love it. And I've made a habit of making comments on this story, not unlike the comments you leave on my stories, Tom, where I highlight certain parts of it and give just individual snarky comments, usually to the point of pointing out just how goddamn hopeless the main character is.
Oh my god!
Like
I gotta look into this.
Yeah, it's fun. Like, let me see. Let's see. Like, prime example. At one point, when he's talking to Rainbow Dash, she asks him if he's read Daring Do, and he says yes, and then he realizes, wait, no, I haven't. I'm just so happy to be around you again that my brain is just spewing in pure positive elation. It's just coming out as the word yes. So no, I haven't. But I've been meaning to read them. Will you read them to me, with me, whichever you prefer? And all I could say to that was just smooth.
So smooth.
Just smooth. And let's see. And then Rainbow Dash at one point declared, "Will you stop being so cute?" To which I commented with Sonic saying, "Never."
Never.
Let's see. And Pinkie Pie, for some reason, is a repeating cock blocker. No, seriously. Every freaking time, with a couple of exceptions more recently from what I've read anyways. Sonic spots Rainbow, goes to say hi, and then suddenly there's a Pinkie dragging one or the other of them away for something else, without even realizing that she's cock blocking both of them.
Honestly, if Pinkie realized, I imagine she'd be the one trying to set them up.
No, she's not. She genuinely didn't figure out that they had feelings for each other until the chapter I read last, and that's only because Rarity probably made it explicitly clear that these two are clearly in a thing. We should go. Oh, okay. Have fun. Sultry wave and then prunking away.
Oh my goodness.
That's
our Pinkie.
Rarity giving Pinkie a rant about things of the heart and what not to do.
At one point, Rainbow asked, "What is happening to me?" when she realized just how lovey-dovey she's being, to which I said, "Someone pushed the love button." And lastly, Rainbow said something that I just cannot believe she actually said. It goes,
What?
"Your eyes are literally the most beautiful thing I've ever seen." To which I typed in, and I thought Sonic was corny.
They're so good for each other.
Right? Anyways, with all that said, I do believe that is a good enough point to end off this episode of Jibber Jabber. Thank you all very much for tuning in. Keep your ears open, keep an open mind, and as always, we'll see you next time we do this shit. See you later, everyone.
Ta-ra.
Bye.